Impact of nationalization on industry, education, commerce and trade. Impact of nationalization on industry. Positive impacts. Due to labor reforms of 1972, the exploitation of the laborers was ended. Their salaries and other benefits were increased. The industrial institutions began to pay all duties and taxes to the government, which increased the national income and the country advanced towards progress. The mill owners showed better attitude with the laborers. Strikes were gradually decreased. The hold of 22 families in the industrial circle ended and the capitalist class was discouraged. The control over the industrial units helped the government to maintain the prices of the industrial goods. Negative impacts. Since the industries came under government control, the capitalists set up only few industries in Pakistan, due to which the industrial development slowed down. By taking the control of industrial units, the government expenditures increased tremendously. The labor unions took advantage of the political freedom and went on strikes, and demonstrated frequently for seeking increase in benefits, which greatly affected the performance of the units. Political appointments of the laborers were made in the industrial units for nothing, who were interested more in benefits than in work, so the speed of the work became slow gradually. The salaried staff did not shoulder their responsibilities seriously, which promoted corruption in the country. Due to government control, many low production units were also running, which increased the burden on the national treasury. Impact of nationalization on education. Positive impacts. The government of Mr. Bhutto nationalized many of the private educational institutions in the country in 1971. The salaries of the educational staff working in these private institutions were very low. Due to nationalization, the financial benefits of the employees were brought on a par with those of the government educational institutions. Students were given special concessions in transport fares, which encouraged the poor parents for sending their children to the government schools. The student scholarships were also increased 4 times. Many medical, engineering, and professional universities were established for the better development of the country. Schools and colleges were upgraded, which opened the door for higher education. Training institutions for the school teachers were established in the entire country, and thousands of untrained teachers were given proper training. Approval was given to set up Illama Iqbal Open University, which provided the students with an opportunity to study through correspondence, and educational electronic media centers for adults were also opened. Negative impacts. By nationalization of the private educational institutions, the government had to pay the salaries of the staff from the national treasury. The financial burden increased the difficulties of the government. The owner of the private institutions were unhappy for this nationalization, and they started a struggle to get back their educational institutions. By providing concessions to the students in transport fares, tension developed between the transport owners and students. The unlimited liberty made the students negligent in their educational activities, which was a great concern for the parents. The student unions were organized in the institutions through political parties, which were a great threat to peace and security. Impact of nationalization on commerce and trade. Positive impacts. The nationalization of industrial units increased the production of the state industries. The Bhutto government encouraged the import of machinery and raw material for industrial expansion. The trade balance of Pakistan improved and the country was advanced towards progress. Economic growth started in the country. The export was increased. Even the vegetables and onions began to be exported. Agricultural reform increased farm produce, which enhanced national and foreign trade. Negative impacts. Inflation affected the salaried class the most. Devaluation of currency though increased export, but also increased the price of commodities. The import of luxury goods increased. There was an increase in the import expense of machinery, which affected the balance of trade. Due to the burden on the national treasury, the secure reserve of foreign exchange started decreasing. The increase in oil prices tumbled the trade balance of Pakistan in 1973. Thank you. I hope you understood the topic.